Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. With me, as always, is Morgan.
Hey, what's up?
BTS recently performed a cover of I'll Be Missing You by Puff Daddy, Faith Evans, and 112 on BBC Radio 1 Live Lounge, alongside their singles Dynamite and Permission to Dance. And we had talked about this last week when we heard that they would be performing this song, and it was really good. I watched the video. Everybody seems to be praising it, and they didn't do a straight cover. They changed up some of the lyrics, which I wasn't expecting. I thought they would just sing it as is because, you know, you just have to do a cover. It's like, well, it's ready to go. You might as well just sing it like that. But they changed the lyrics to have it be more relevant to the current situation, and so that it's not literally about Notorious B.I.G. and his death. So they made it so it's more of a general thing about living in COVID and missing.
Well, was anybody offended by that though?
No, I don't think so.
No people saying, "Hey, you're disrespecting Biggie Smalls."
Mm-hmm.
No, okay.
I didn't see anything about that, but
yeah, his fandom has not persisted. No one's really a fan of his anymore.
I think people like that they personalized it for present day, and I'm just surprised because it's like that's more effort. It's like they didn't necessarily have to do that. They just wanted to make it more of a relevant message for right now. It kind of took on more of a life goes on flavor because the lyrics that they changed were about not being with loved ones, not seeing people that you couldn't see during the pandemic, and they changed the rap into Korean. So Suga and J-Hope, their parts were in Korean. And yeah, it was like a song that was on the B album because it was like, oh, our routines are taken away and we don't know when this ends. You know, just kind of describing the situation. Like you could see the translation of the lyrics.
Yeah, I think it was good that they modified it. They do seem really sick of the pandemic though.
Yeah, I'm getting that message a lot. Just like every song that comes out, like Permission to Dance, and it's like, oh, we're sick of masks, we're sick of this whole pandemic, and like every single interview they say we want to just get back out there and perform. So I'm sure that they are trying to make that happen. And I see in Ticketmaster, you know, all these other artists are saying, you know, oh, we have dates for concerts now. So I'm just waiting to see when BTS will be able to say that. But I think they have like the most difficult thing to plan because they just have like stadium tours, you know, and those are the biggest places that are maybe not cleared to have people in them yet, especially not everywhere. Just definitely not every place they want to have a concert in is going to be available. So they have like the biggest challenge, I think. Big hit trying to plan all that. And a lot of people really liked Jimin's vocals, apparently. There was like a lot of people commenting on it. And he stood out because he has the highest voice. So people were like, oh,
they were impressed that he was able to cover it.
Yeah, he was able to reach those notes. And he must have done the part of Faith Evans then because her notes must have been the higher notes in the song. And they were like referring to him as the little black-haired bowl cut guy.
Who's they?
Just people in like YouTube comments.
Oh, but obviously the fans know who he is.
Yeah, they would know him by name, but like just random people who tune into the performance, they don't know his name, so they're just describing him. But my question is, how long is he gonna have the bowl cut? It's not my favorite look of his, and it's like, oh, he's being noticed for that, and like I don't get who makes these decisions.
Well, I think that we might have a antipathy towards bowl cuts, but it's just not the same in either Korea or in 2021. It's not considered that bad of a haircut right now.
Oh, okay. It just is bangs to them, huh? People.
Fashion trends change. Right now, it's not a bad haircut, okay?
Oh, you think it's like a difference in like modern times versus before? Or I thought it was like, okay, Asia, they don't care about, they think that's perfectly fine hairstyle.
Yeah, it's a cultural and a generational thing, I think.
Okay.
But some of the people commenting probably, they might have been a little bit older because the song brought in some older people, right?
Right, I'm sure.
And then they might have said, what's with these bowl cuts? They're in the past. They're in now. Okay, calm down. You need to watch more K-pop, right? There's lots of bowl cuts going on in K-pop.
Right. It was a successful performance, and they adapted it to their unique BTS style. So glad to hear that. Spotify launched a new feature recently. It's called Today's Top Fans. And if you Google that phrase, you can probably find the website, and it'll link you to your Spotify and tell you like which artists you've listened to the most, and then it gives you some stats on that. So I thought it was pretty interesting, especially now that we're in the age of, well, I don't know if it's a different age, but when you're into K-pop, it's all about fandoms, and it's all about how big of a fan you are of this or that, you know? So maybe Spotify is kind of like tuned into that about, you know.
Yeah, it would give people this validation that they listen to something X amount of time.
Yeah. Were you surprised by any of the stats that they showed you?
I was surprised by all of it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to think that. Well, let's just put this out there. All of my top 4 were females. Okay, that's female pop artists, and I'm in a very high percentage, so that was kind of shocking as well. But in my defense, I have a very long commute, so I listen to more music than most people. But I was like in top 2% for Miley Cyrus, top 3% for Taylor Swift, top 3% for Blackpink, and top 4% for Rihanna.
Wow, you're...
So, and all of these required like 70 to like 100 hours of listening time. Except for Miley Cyrus, you only need 50 to be in top 2%, which she's less popular, so it makes sense. But yeah, I guess I have to accept it, right? I thought that, don't I listen to something else, you know? Yeah, I thought I listened to some more standards or a little bit more rap music. No.
That's what I was going to say. I thought that would be...
Well, the numbers don't lie, right? Why would they try to lie to me just to make me feel worse about myself?
Spotify knows you.
No, Spotify is neutral. They're just counting it. Apparently, I've listened to like, As If It's Your Last, like 287 times.
You know what's weird is that's my favorite Blackpink song, but
you didn't listen to it the most?
It wasn't my number one Blackpink song. Number one? You know how it listed... Spotify lists your top 3 songs of that artist. Mine was Pretty Savage, was number 1, right. And then forget the other 2, but it was like not ones that are even my favorite. I guess there was just ones on my list, and they just that I listened to many times.
Well, if they're on your playlist, it'll get a lot of plays too.
Yeah,
it depends on what playlist they're on. But yeah, I guess I just have to accept that I listen to female pop artists.
So you didn't have any male rappers or bands at the top of yours? Okay.
None whatsoever. And keep in mind, I've been on Spotify for a good, maybe since 2014. So they have a large sample to draw from. Mm-hmm. It's accurate. I just have to embrace that fact. This is what I listen to, so yeah. I am surprised that Blackpink was on there and not Twice, though. Because I don't consider myself a bigger Blackpink fan than Twice, but maybe I need to reconsider that.
Yeah. I think because you put more of their songs on playlists.
Oh, I had a theory. It's that Twice has a smaller fan base. So when they say that you're in the top X% of Blackpink, if there are a lot more people who have listened to just one Blackpink song, then that's a much larger group. It's tougher to... Wait. It's easier to crack the top 3%. Because there's a bunch of people who have like a couple song listens, right?
Right.
Whereas Twice has a smaller overall group that have even listened to one Twice song. Mm-hmm. So it's tougher to crack the top 3%.
Right. So
if you listen to Twice, you're probably a pretty big fan. But if you listen to Taylor Swift, you could be anything from a super fan to I just listened to a couple songs because it was on the top 50 or whatever. Right?
Yeah, you got to think statistically.
Right. It could be just someone who doesn't even like her at all gets onto this list because they listened to it once.
Yeah, and now the pool is bigger.
The pool is gigantic, and it's easy to get into the top 3% of Taylor Swift fans. Whereas with Twice, it's hard to get in the top 3% because you're competing against people who are generally really into them. I'd be curious to see what my total listen time is. Because it shows you if you're in the top X%. It doesn't show you your total listen times. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so perhaps my total listen time for Twice is better, it beats all of these things. I would guess it does.
Yeah, for me, my top artists were Taylor Swift, which I was in the top 5%, and so I listened to 92 Hours of Taylor Swift, which that doesn't even sound like that much to me. I thought I'd listened to a lot more than 92 hours, but okay.
What are you talking about? That's like 4 whole days.
Yeah, but look how many albums she has. And I've listened...
4 days of listening to it. That's a lot.
I mean, I've listened to all her albums many times. It just seems like it would add up to more than that. And my top 3 Taylor Swift songs. Number 1 was Style, which I'm surprised. I can't remember listening to that many times. I must have, though. Endgame. And then You Are in Love, which I did listen to that a lot of times because that was like, I thought that was like one of the best songs. But yeah, I'm surprised like certain other songs aren't up here that I thought I'd listen to a lot of times. But I did listen to 1989 a lot, so maybe that's why 2 of those are from 1989. Because remember, she wasn't even on Spotify for a while, and then all of a sudden she was, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta listen to Taylor Swift now. And that's when I started like being more than a casual fan. And then of course my other top artist was BTS, but I was not in that high of a percentage. I'm only in the top 7% of BTS fans. But I don't feel any shame about that because there's a lot of hardcore streamers out there, and I'm sure they are at the top. And I don't really do streaming. I actually just listen to it if I feel like listening to it. That's how I use my Spotify. And my top 3 BTS songs. Number 1, Boy With Love. Number 2, Butter. And number 3, Telepathy. So
that's weird that you listen to Butter that much.
Yeah, that's recent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it would be like all the way up there yet.
Right. You listen to Butter more than Dynamite?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow. I don't think it's a better song than Dynamite. That's amazing. And many other BTS songs.
That's what Spotify says. Yeah, and Boy With Love. Yeah, I do remember listening to that a lot. And it had more time on here to get more plays. And let's see, I listened to BTS for 152 hours. Yeah, that's a lot. Sounds like a lot because that's only like from 2 years worth.
It is a lot.
But the one thing that was surprising was that it said the first time I listened to BTS was December 13th, 2017. And it's like, wait, I don't remember hearing about BTS back then. Like, I thought I became a fan later than that. So
who knows?
I'm not sure where they caught that, but maybe it was something to where I was like listening to a playlist and then they thought it was a related song, and then that was like the next song at the end of it. You know how Spotify does that. So anyway, if you have Spotify, this will be pretty interesting to see what stats you get and which groups, like, because you might be surprised by what you actually listen to. Global sales and profit for McDonald's surged past Wall Street targets on Wednesday as restaurants reopened despite staffing shortages and consumers lapped up the wildly popular celebrity meal inspired by BTS. So I've seen a couple articles this week that were talking about how McDonald's is doing really well, like compared to other restaurants.
Right.
And they pretty much think it's because of the BTS meal.
Is that what analysts say?
Yeah. They boosted sales.
I read the same article. They just said it helped sales. That's not a statement that it's mainly because of BTS. And if there's an analyst that says it's mainly because of BTS, I'd like to have a word for him because he should probably lose his job.
Well, they also got more sales because they launched a line of crispy chicken sandwiches.
None of these are the actual answer. The actual answer is that McDonald's benefited throughout this pandemic because they already had the infrastructure to do drive-through, whereas a lot of their competition, places where you go to eat, they don't have a drive-through. This is a regular restaurant, right? They have to pick up. They have to jury rig some sort of pickup situation, or they have to make an outdoor seating area.
Yeah.
Right. So McDonald's destroyed them, right? And another issue is that food costs have been rising. So your mom and pop restaurant, they're subject to rising food costs. If food costs rise for your local restaurant, they probably just have to raise prices, right?
Right.
If food prices rise for McDonald's, number one, because of economies of scale and the leverage they have, since they buy so much food, they don't necessarily have to pay that much more, right? They might be able to negotiate better prices in the face of rising food costs and inflation. And they also might be able to just keep prices where they are and just eat a loss for a while because they have deep pockets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like when Standard Oil was pricing people out of business, right? This is how McDonald's is not a monopoly, but this is how monopolies can often work. They're so big, they can price you out of business, right? And I'm not trying to say that McDonald's was trying to price the local restaurant out of business, but they may not have wanted to raise their prices in face of rising costs just because they felt that wasn't good for their own business. Even though I've noticed that McDonald's prices have gone up over time, but I don't think that has to do with the past year of inflation. I think these are the reasons why McDonald's profits have gone up. It's more systemic than, okay, they ran a BTS promotion for a month.
Yeah, I understand how they would have more of an advantage over sit-down restaurants, but I would think the other fast food places would be good competition for them.
They have been. Their business has been up too.
Like, they probably stole away other sit-down restaurant businesses too.
Yeah, the other fast food restaurants have been doing well as well.
Yeah.
So for these reasons, McDonald's has been gobbling up more market share for the dining market, and that's why their profits have been up. They've been a huge beneficiary of the pandemic.
Yeah, I do think the BTS campaign was very successful though, because I mean, tons of people went just for that, like people that don't always eat at McDonald's. And I think they were able to create that celebrity meal, quote unquote, for not much cost on their side, because it was like existing food that they already have on their menu. All they had to do is like get the sauces, right? That was like,
yeah, I don't want to. I'm trying to imply that the celebrity meal is not a success. I mean, the mere fact that they've done multiple and they're doing more in the future leads you to believe that it has been a success. But I'm just saying it's not the reason why.
Well, they said like the year before the pandemic, they were like negative something. McDonald's.
Yes, but the reason why they're up now is because of structural reasons due to the pandemic, mainly, and partially, I would say a very small percentage due to some of these collaborations they have with BTS, Travis Scott, et cetera, et cetera. The main reasons have to do with, this is not a business show, but yeah, basically this goes back to what we've always talked about. You want to write an article, you want clicks, what do you need to do? You need to talk about like stuff like COVID, politics, or BTS, right? You can't write an article that's the headlines, hey, McDonald's is gaining market share due to systemic and structural forces due to the pandemic. Who's going to click on that?
That sounds like a Bloomberg article.
Exactly. Nobody's going to click on that. But if you say that McDonald's gained market share due to BTS meals, you'll get more clicks. And that's how, ladies and gentlemen, that's how media works today, which is also another discussion for another day, why you cannot trust media, and there's something deeply dysfunctional about media today, but that's why they write that headline. Name dropping BTS is one of those ways that you can get some clicks for your article. And that's what they're doing. It did help. You can tell already that helped because they're doing more. Like they're doing like Saweetie's doing one, right?
The Saweetie meal.
The Saweetie meal. It's so dumb.
I don't understand.
I hate Saweetie, by the way.
I don't understand the food she picked for her meal. Like a Big Mac, a 4-piece nuggets, a medium fries, medium Sprite, and barbecue sauce. And sweet and sour, I guess?
Right.
Why would you just have 4 nuggets and then a Big Mac?
Look, it's her meal. At least it has a different packaging. They said it was going to have different packaging. Yeah,
they used her font.
No, yeah.
It's a very like 70s bubbly looking font.
Sweetie's super overrated.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they chose her, but maybe they think she's like really up and coming. I only know a couple of her songs.
She's not even up and coming. She's here. You know her name.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that means she's made it. You know her name, you know? Is she any smaller than Travis Scott? She's at least as big as Travis Scott, right?
Yeah, I guess they're probably equivalent.
She deserves her own meal. I'll be honest with you, her meal sounds better than the BTS meal. It has a Big Mac and some nuggets. BTS just had nuggets, right? That's kind of I don't know. That's not a meal to me.
But yeah, that's another meal where it's basically made of things McDonald's already has on their menu, so they don't have to do a whole lot of work for it. They just have to like redesign some packaging, and then there you go. That's the new campaign. I'm surprised they did one just right after BTS though. You'd think they would leave some time in between, although I guess there's no reason. If it's successful, just keep doing it. There's a new Mnet survival show airing soon called Girls Planet 999. And it's a reality survival show in Korea that starts August 6th. It'll have 12 episodes, and the purpose of the competition is to put together a new 9-member girl group consisting of trainees and idols from China, Japan, and South Korea. As you can tell from the title, that has kind of a space theme. So each country, like Korea, China, and Japan, represents a planet, and they're going to have a council who mentors the 99 girls and people that'll, same as produce. They'll mentor them and then teach them stuff. And then I guess there's voting involved. But one thing that I thought was really different about this is that they really differentiate. They have exactly like 1/3 from each country. And I think that's really a unique structure for this show compared to other survival shows. They're going to have, so the final group is going to have like 3 from Korea, 3 from Japan, 3 from China. And they're also going to, it sounded like, from what I understand, the elimination groups are going to be, one person from each country. And then you get eliminated as a group or you move on as a group, as the 3 people. So I thought that was very different and interested to see how that works out. Because, what if there's one person who's really talented and then the other 2 people aren't that good? Are you going to eliminate that group or are you going to keep them? I guess if it's voting, then it's, the voters decide.
Yeah. The thing that I'm wondering about this is that I saw that there's some established girls who are on it. Like I saw that they have people who have debuted. There are 3 members of Cherry Bullet who are on there. And that disappointed me because that indicates to me that Cherry Bullet is in dire straits or something. They're not a healthy group if they're sending people to this Mnet survival show.
Right. Like you don't see...
No, they're not a healthy group.
You don't see people from Twice or...
No, obviously not, right? They need more exposure or the group is on its last legs. It's only 2 years old. It sucks because I like that group, but... actions speak louder than words. This clearly indicates that they don't have a lot of confidence in that group. It's not a high priority. They sent 3 girls to this show.
Right.
So,
they're like, well, if you make it, then great. If not, then at least it's good publicity.
So that's unfortunate because I like Cherry Bullet, but whatever.
That is really interesting to look through the list of the 99 contestants and see like where they're coming from. It kind of looks like half and half. Like half of them are people that have never been in a group before, and then half of them have done something. They've either been on another show, or they're in a group, or they're an actress or something, or they're a trainee. So yeah, a lot of people with very different
trainee doesn't mean
backgrounds.
anything. Trainee is just the same as a regular contestant.
I think they still have like a little bit of an advantage though. Sometimes like in Korea, people know who all the trainees are, and they root for them even before their debut. So they might have somewhat of a fan base, depending.
Well, they have a fan base. Certainly, the people who are in a group have a fan base, even more so, right? Like the Cherry Bullet girls have a fan base right now.
You'd think. I mean, but if they have a fan base, then how come they're at risk of?
Right. They don't have a huge fan base. That's true enough. The group is not healthy. I mean, I guess I knew that just based on the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for girl groups to take hold. Yeah. It's hard to like stand out separately from other groups. I see there's some people that were in the Neezy project, people that are in formerly from groups. Let's see, JYP trainees. I remember Huning Kai, who's in TXT. His sister is one of the trainees that's in this. I don't know what I think she's not with an agency. Yeah, it says she's listed here under individual trainees. Not too many SM trainees. I guess they hold on to them. Maybe they don't let them audition for these things.
Right. I'm not sure SM needs this sort of show.
Yeah, this is probably better if you're from one of those smaller agencies. Get publicity. I wonder how it's even going to work though. It's like 3 different countries and like different languages. Are people going to be able to...
What are you talking about? Twice has multiple countries, 3 different countries and 3 different languages.
Right. Maybe they're trying to create it twice. They're 9 people.
All these people know Korean, don't they? They all know some Korean. I would assume that's a prerequisite.
I guess they would have to if they're
they all know Korean.
They're gonna listen to instruction.
Yeah, they're gonna listen to all the coaches are Korean, aren't they? Right? the shows in Korea, I would presume that all the contestants know some Korean. They'll be fine. They're gonna sing in Korean.
What about this? One person's a member of CLC. Isn't that a group that's still working?
It is just like Cherry Bullet. But that's what I've been saying. It's like some of these groups are established groups. But that tells you that CLC is not a healthy group either. That's all it says to me.
Right. It sounded like they were going to have 3-member teams, one person from each country. But then they didn't say how they're dividing it as far as what they do. Like, are you going to have like 3 rappers in a group? Could you have like 2 rappers or 3 singers? Like, does that matter? I wonder how they're going to divide that up. I don't know.
I guess we'll just have to we'll have to watch it. I don't even like these survival shows that much. I guess Twice came out of a survival show, but I don't like the other results of the survival shows. These
ones that have 100 people, it's like I don't know how they manage.
Especially since they have limited contracts. It's how can you get invested in it?
Right.
It's like a 1-2 year contract.
It'd be like Eyes One. They're like not around for too long. So maybe they've meant this more for the TV show part of it than for creating the group. Maybe it's more for just the entertainment. Do you think they chose girl groups because they think that's more drama versus having like 99 boys?
No. Next season will be boys.
Oh, okay. You think they just started with a girl group?
And don't forget this is Mnet, so it could still be corrupt too.
Right. Well, it said they had some kind of new system.
Whatever. I mean, you shouldn't have high expectations. It's just an entertainment show. There's no reason to even expect something that's not corrupt, honestly.
There's a sentiment I'm seeing on Twitter from Blinks, as well as a Reddit post I read recently, that they're getting tired of the lack of content from Blackpink in terms of fan interaction, and there's still not that much music that's been released, and everything that comes from Blackpink is either ads or things that they have to pay for. They have a movie that's coming out, but that's something you have to go to the theater to go see and pay for. I think the movie is their anniversary, right? It's for that.
I don't know. I haven't been paying close attention to that movie.
Yeah. Every time BTS has an anniversary, they have a whole, celebration and tons of content, and it's not really anything you have to pay for. I think some Blinks are starting to get pretty tired of this situation of how, they don't get to see a lot of like V Lives, just like spontaneous things from Blackpink members. It's everything that's structured or involves payment. And I understand that like part of that is a YG strategy. Like they don't want them to be too available, and so that way that the fans are more excited when there is content that comes out.
Well, I think this was a problem of expectations born of a more K-pop model where groups are so accessible versus a Western model, which I think is what Blackpink is trying to replicate. Mm-hmm. They're so mainstream now, and I feel like they're embracing the fact that they're not a K-pop group anymore. They're just a global group. And this is sort of how global superstars move, right? Like, does Taylor Swift just do a V Live or a YouTube chat or just with fans? Or no, she doesn't, right? It's always like a very structured...
Not anymore.
Yeah, it's just a very structured thing. Only when she has to promote a concert or something like that.
She did earlier years. She was very known for that.
Yeah, but she's a huge superstar now, so she doesn't have time for that.
She used to send people Christmas presents and like go to their house and stuff sometimes. Like it was to that level.
But even that is just a promotional sort of... It doesn't take much time. Asking people to be accessible online all the time, it's really... I'm not going to say it's a burden, but it takes more time, right? And they're adhering to a model that's more global, more Western, which is your stars are not accessible to you. Mm-hmm. It's neither right nor wrong, I guess. It's just that's the way it is. You can see them in high fashion ads.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can see in high fashion ads. You can see them at the
concerts.
You can see them when they're promoting something. That's it. That's the only time you'll get any sort of time with them. They're not going to be in a chat and answer like one fan's question. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
They're too big for that now.
I do feel bad because I think if you're Blink, you probably do feel unappreciated. Like the other K-pop groups, they're just like thanking the fans all the time, and they're like, "I love you," and like, "Thank you for being there for us." And
I understand how you could.
They
feel that
barely
way.
talk to their fans.
If you're used to that sort of treatment, you just have to understand that Blackpink is now they've transcended that. They're not in the K-pop model anymore. They're in the worldwide superstar model. So ask yourself, how would Ariana Grande behave? Does she answer single fans' questions in like a V Live every week? No, she doesn't even talk to you. Does she? As far as I know, no, she doesn't, right?
I think she does like Instagram live sometimes.
Really? I just don't think she's that accessible. The point is, there's a level of accessibility that K-pop fans are used to that is just that worldwide fans are not used to and they don't expect. And now Blackpink is fully entrenched in the worldwide superstar status, and they don't feel the need to offer that sort of accessibility anymore. So they don't.
Yeah, I do think fans are, they know that is a strategy, and they're kind of offended by it. It's like, okay, you only need us when you need money or you need to promote something, and then you go away in between.
There's one way to look at it. You can say that I'm offended by it because, oh, you're just talking to me now because you need me. But on the other hand, I think maybe you were just spoiled by this situation, by how fan-friendly K-pop has generally been in the past. Like, for instance, I'm a fan of Robert Downey Jr. Does he do like Instagram lives and answer my questions just every week? Or does he just go on the Tonight Show when he's promoting a movie? Does he just like do a junket of interviews when he's promoting a movie? And when he doesn't do that, he just goes off and he's doing his own life. He doesn't care about me. he's not interacting with me. Like, you're just I don't know you. Who are you? You're just a person who buys some movie tickets, right? Is that not how Robert Downey Jr. interacts with me? Mm-hmm. It is, and I'm okay with it. I don't feel he owes me anything more than that. I just don't. I'm used to him just, okay, when he does a movie, he does a series of interviews and he says, "Hey, come watch this movie." And that's it. That's all I will ever get from him. And he's a really cool, interesting guy. I would love to like chat with him or something, but I have to understand that, yeah, I'm a fan of his, but I'm one of like 50 million, 80 million fans of his, right? 100 million fans of his, right? He has no time to chat with me or answer anything that I ever say, or even chat with like several thousand of us. That's just too small. Just the scale doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
I think you just have to be at peace with the fact that Blackpink is now that big.
I think Blinks have accepted that for a little while. Like, okay, Blackpink is global. They're Western. This is how they operate.
Right.
And we need to just understand that, their time is taken up by doing all these other things. But I think just the amount of comments I'm seeing, it's like people are starting to like get really fed up with all that. And they're kind of blaming YG. So they think they don't like this strategy anymore. They don't really want to see that. And you can say, oh yeah, that's a Western strategy. They're just going to be, out there every once in a while. But if you look at Western artists, you look at Taylor Swift, yes, she's like has breaks where she's not really, visibly out there. But then when she is back, you get a lot of music. So it's like she's had like 3 or 4 albums in the last few years. You get a lot of music if you're a Taylor Swift fan, and she's a Western artist. She's using that model. But Blackpink, when they come back, you don't get that many songs. Like this, they've only had 1 full album, and so I think that's another point of contention for Blinks is that, okay, well, if you're taking this time away from fans, then how come there's not like tons of music coming out when you are promoting something?
I'm not trying to say anything bad about the character of Blackpink members because I don't think this is an indictment of their character. But hey, when you're working your way up as in K-pop, let's say you're like a Cherry Bullet, right? Mm-hmm. You're nobody. I mean, even when you're in Cherry Bullet, you haven't really quote unquote made it. You're not rich. Lots of people know who you are, but
just being in a group,
you haven't really made it, right?
That's not the end of it.
Right. You have to work really hard and hustle and interact with fans and do everything you can to scratch and claw your way forward, right? Blackpink, they're not in that situation. They have totally made it, and they've surpassed any level. Like even after their YG contract ends, even if they don't renew, they're all going to be successful for a long time. Even if none of it, right? They're like a Lady Gaga level right now. Well, think about when you were, like, for the people who are a little bit older, when you were young, you really hustled hard at work, right? And then when you're older and you got promoted and you got promoted again, and you got promoted again, a lot of times, now this is not all the people, but a lot of times you just felt like, oh yeah, well, I've earned this. I can sort of take it a little bit easier. I don't have to hustle as hard, right? Now that's not everyone. Some people work super hard all their lives. But a lot of people, once they get more status, get more juice, go up the ranks, they feel like, well, I deserve to not work quite as hard, right? Mm-hmm. And imagine if regular people feel that. I have to imagine the Blackpink members feel that. Do they want to do like multiple internet chats every week?
Do you think they don't want to, or do you think YG?
They don't want to. No, they don't want to.
YG says don't bother.
Nope, they don't want to. They don't. I know you like to think that they all love you, your fans. They do in a generic sense. But do they love interacting with you all the time? No. It's time out of their day. And also, they've gotten so big that there's more of you. There's more of you.
Right.
They love you, but they don't want to talk to you on an individual level all the time, right? Just like in abstract, I'm sure that all the people who are super rich and famous and have a lot of fans, they love their fans, but do they want to sign autographs for 3 hours and be like mobbed by people wherever they go? No, it's just human nature. They don't, right? Even though in the abstract, they do appreciate you. Mm-hmm. But in the aggregate, since there are so many of you, they don't like it. And you wouldn't either. You wouldn't like to be mobbed by fans for 3 hours, right? You would want to limit that sort of interaction as much as possible.
I wouldn't, but I feel like that is part of the job. And you have to...
But it's not. Not if you made it big enough, right?
You have to appreciate who got you there, though. That's kind of like, well, I'm over here
but the thing is,
in my mansion now.
Yeah, but the thing is appreciating and actually doing the legwork and just sitting here for hours and hours of, chatting with fans or signing autographs. Is that the only way to appreciate them? No. There's other ways to appreciate them. You can make large statements about them or whatever, right? And if that is the only way to appreciate them, then I'm sorry. Human nature will just dictate that once you have the leverage to just say, no, I don't have to do these things, therefore I don't want to do these things, they will stop doing these things because they're famous enough, big enough, rich enough to just say, I don't have to do all this stuff. It's not YG. So if you want to blame YG, go ahead. I'm sure they're easy scapegoats. They're easy villains.
Well, I thought they're in charge of deciding what Blackpink does on a daily basis. Blackpink,
they're nearing the end of their contract. Do you think that the Blackpink members have not gotten more and more power over their own schedule as we've gone? Yeah, they have. They've gotten more leverage as time has gone on. And they don't enjoy these mundane activities any more than the average person would. I hate to break it to you, they don't enjoy those things, right? They'll say they enjoy it. It's very, very difficult. It's a lot to ask of them.
Yeah, I'm sure it is a hard part of the job. It's taxing. It's mentally draining. And that's why a lot of K-pop idols have stress because they don't like seeing, dealing with fans so much and seeing all the negative comments too. And Blackpink is following a more Western model, but they are still a K-pop group. So people are going to have K-pop expectations. And I always see on V Live, I have notifications all the time. It's like, Woo-ah, they're live. Red Velvet's live. Twice is live. People are going live all the time to just not even do anything that great. It's just hi, I'm here. Let's answer some questions. Let's just talk. Let's do whatever. And it's even BTS, they're, the top group. They're on V Live. They've been on V Live a lot lately. And it's who's busier than them? But we've had 3 or 4 V Lives this week. And that was the most exciting thing when you see a V Live notification, someone's going live. That's excitement for fans. And I don't know if Blackpink fans get to experience stuff like that anymore to, interact with them in a spontaneous way.
Well, I can't explain why BTS still does all the V Lives and stuff. Maybe they're just especially motivated to stay connected to fans in that way. But I would say that they're working against human nature and against the realities and logistics of the time that they have. So maybe you should appreciate it even more because they're really working hard if they're still doing it that often.
Just the other day, Jenny did a V-Live chat where she just answered questions from fans. It was sort of like a Reddit AMA where, you know, people send in questions and then she would type and answer. So, I mean, I don't think they do those that often, and maybe that was even in response to people complaining that they aren't available very much.
Yeah, but her AMA was like, what did she talk about? Peaches? Who cares? That's the thing. Like,
well, that's the question she got, I guess.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, who really even cares about that sort of stuff, right? Who even really cares? So, is this really a great use of your idol's time? I don't think so. I honestly, I would prefer that they spend all their time making good content. Why do you? I don't personally find that much value in you sitting there and answering any of our questions. I don't see any value in you interacting with us at all. Because it just seems like an inefficient use of your time. Because when you answer one person's question, like, well, that one person, whoever was thinking about that topic, they're satisfied, right? But that's probably a small percentage. Whereas if you make content, then a much larger percentage of people are happy. So the more efficient use of your time is to make more content. And I can understand that, and this is one place you can't complain to YG. Because if they're not doing this thing, then why aren't they doing more content? And that is probably a YG issue.
I'm surprised she did a chat though, like rather than just appear on video like everybody else. Like that's what they normally use V-Live for, and then just like talk to answer questions. Because it just seems like typing is like more work than just.
Was she on camera while they typed?
I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But the article I saw, it just showed a lot of text, like she was typing answers. So I mean,
because the cynic in me would just say that it's not even her typing.
I know that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like if it's just typing, then
how do we an intern or something?
How do we know for sure it was even Jenny?
Right.
Just because it's logged in as Jenny, it could have been
the company can log in as
a YG person.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
A Sri Lankan TV channel is under fire as a TV host claimed that the show will be inviting BTS for an interview. Despite the host stating the show will be bringing the group to their channel, there's been multiple excuses why they weren't there each week. So it's like they were promising they would have a BTS interview on this show multiple times, and then they would, at the last minute, have an excuse and say, well, BTS isn't here because they're busy. And viewers and BTS fans are now angry because they feel like BTS was never scheduled and never intended to do this show, but the show was just lying about that just to increase their viewership. So I think that's really a dangerous thing to do. You don't want to anger ARMY because that's millions of people around the world. And I mean, I don't know how much effect they can have on this show, but how do you just blatantly lie and say you're going to have BTS on and then they don't come on?
It was not in English, so I didn't get the tone of it, but were they joking? Were they obviously just joking about this?
Well, that's possible.
Because this is the type of joke that I would make, I'll be honest with you. Are they just like saying, hey, BTS is going to be on next week. Whoops, nope. Next week, though. Whoops, nope. I mean, it should be obvious to you that this is just a joke, right?
Oh, is this like Jimmy Kimmel's joke? Like Matt Damon's going to be the next guest, and then it's like, oh, we ran out of time. He's not here.
Yeah, sort of like that. Although I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel because he's trash, so I don't know about that joke. But it sounds like it would be similar, right?
Yeah.
Would you be like, I'm a Matt Damon fan. How dare you? You've wasted my time. I'm sitting here in rapt attention waiting for Matt Damon to appear. No, you wouldn't, because you would recognize that he was just joking about that. Matt Damon's not going to appear. You should know that.
I would know that if I'm an American and you know Jimmy Kimmel's humor. When he's joking about that.
Right. So is it that type of situation?
It could be, because maybe some of the people wanting to see this show are not from Sri Lanka. They're like foreign viewers or something, or they heard about it and they're like, okay, let me try to catch this show and see BTS on there, and then they didn't understand that was. I mean, that's very generous. I hope that was a joke and that they weren't just straight up lying just to get people to tune in, because that would be a lot better if it was just a joke that people didn't understand.
If it was just straight up false advertising, then yeah, no, that's not great. But at the same time, does it really hurt you? You tuned in one more time and then realize, oh, they weren't on. Are you guys just lying to me? And you probably never watched again, right? If you watch like a third and a fourth time thinking that, well, maybe this time they're telling the truth, then you're just a dummy. Right? I mean, we have to just say, like, how can you be fooled 3 or 4 times in a row? That's probably on you, if we're being honest, right? This sounds kind of to me like it was a joke. Like, hey guys, we're going to have BTS.
I wish I knew more about this show or this channel. Yeah. Like, what if it was not a comedy show, though? What if it was just like Dateline or something? Like, something meant to be serious, so people thought, oh, it really is going to be
No. BTS. I'm seeing a thumbnail, and there's a guy with like a flannel shirt and reflective sunglasses. It's not Dateline.
So this sounds like comedy to you.
This is certainly not a serious news show based on the picture. It seems like some entertainment show.
Maybe people misread what he said, and then they heard all, secondhand, like, okay, BTS is going to be on this show.
I mean, let's be honest. If you took all jokes literally, you would be misled into some really crazy stuff and be offended by quite a few things, right? Right? If you didn't have that filter that understood when people are joking with you, you would say, "What the hell? You told me that this was gonna happen." Like, that was a joke. Could you not tell? I don't know. It's hard for me to tell because I don't speak that language.
Maybe this show should release a statement explaining what that was all about. It's like, was this a joke, or did you guys think you booked BTS and didn't?
No, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have thought they booked them and then just be mistaken, especially multiple times.
Well, maybe it's not like you.
Well, if they said they had excuses, would they lie about the excuses multiple times? No.
Maybe someone told them, like, I'm the rep for BTS, and like that person lied, and then the show believed them.
Oh, okay.
It's like, yeah, they'll be on tomorrow. Perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought this sounded like a kind of funny situation. But yeah, I guess it could be unintentional, a joke that went too far, that people took seriously.
I don't know. Somebody from Sri Lanka message us, tell us.
Yeah, explain the situation, please. BTS is offering ARMY membership renewal as well as starting pre-orders for the Memories 2020 DVD and Blu-ray. So I thought it might be worth looking at what they've included and if we think it's worth the price. The ARMY membership costs $22 just for that by itself. And then there's another type of membership called the merch pack that costs $150. And with that, you can get several different merch packs throughout the year. So in general, the benefits of membership are that you can purchase certain products that other people who don't have a membership can't buy. Mm-hmm. You can get early release of certain items. You can get a lower price for items in the Weverse shop. You can get the opportunity for the early tickets for BTS concerts, which I think that was the main benefit to ARMY membership. Like, if you don't really buy other things, I feel like that was an important benefit. And you also, as part of this membership, you can apply to go to the music shows, and you can apply for those special online and offline BTS events. And you also get that extra content on Weverse. So that costs $22. Now, I think that's...
So I'll have to get that.
I think it's worth it for if you intend to go to concerts. Because that's not...
Right, it's just $22 to get an early access
It's
concert.
not very much to pay for that benefit. And that's the benefit we used the last time we got tickets. And it did help because we got very good tickets. So if you're thinking about it, then $22 is not that much to get that. Now, as far as the merch pack, I don't know about that. I never buy merch, so I don't know if that's like... That might be a good price, though, for how much things normally cost. You get like 4 boxes throughout the year, I think, is how it works. But yeah, if you want merch stuff, maybe that's a good deal. I'm not really sure. But what I did like about the ARMY membership renewal was this year they have a theme of office, like working in an office. So if you work in an office, you probably like identified with...
I work in an office.
Some of the pictures they put out. They had like pictures where they're like fake working in an office. It was like really funny to see because they're BTS. They don't work in an office. They're just like, it's like, look, here I'm sitting at a desk. I'm holding papers. I'm doing stuff. I don't know if you've been watching our podcast Instagram, but then I combined some of these pictures with quotes from Office Space, which is like the classic movie about offices. So hopefully if you looked at our Instagram, you understood what that was all about. But yeah, if you haven't seen Office Space, please go see it. It represents what it's like in an office very well.
Yeah, or is it worth it? I don't know. It's up to you. It's subjective. It was worth it, right? Is that the question, if it's worth it?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, I think the basic one is worth it just because you want to buy tickets. Then you need it.
Yeah.
All the crap that you get, I don't know. It's not worth it. Look, you get like stickers and cards. I don't know if that appeals to me. Oh, you get a file rack. You get a file rack? Oh, Jesus. That is office-worthy stuff. I don't even have files anymore, though. All of my work I just do off the cloud. Do you even work with files?
There's some things that have to file away because it's like, oh, here's an official document
you can have a BTS file rack
for this purpose.
Then you can use the BTS file rack. It's just a blue file rack with the little logo on it. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of there's this old movie called The Truman Show. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a guy who lives in like a big bubble that's a reality TV show about him, but he doesn't know. And he has a dumb job, and he always dreams about like traveling to Tahiti or something. Fiji. Is it Fiji?
Yeah.
Oh, you know? Okay.
Yeah, because the girl he had a crush on.
Anyway, Fiji, right? It's some tropical island.
She said, I'm leaving. But she was like leaving the TV show. But she said, I'm going to Fiji.
Yeah. But he has like a very mundane life and goes to an office cubicle. But he dreams of better things outside of his world. Anyway, this reminds me of that. You could have your BTS office supplies, and then when you're doing your office drone work that's mind-numbing and soul-sucking, you can look over and dream about the concert that's coming up or whatever, right? It's sort of similar.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. That's what I got from this file rack thing.
Yeah. Many of us work in an office. And
I do. Work off the cloud, okay? It's very important, especially if you do any sort of remote work. Why are you working off anything physical? And this other stuff, the travel case, and here's what I would advise. If you're thinking of spending money on this upgrade and merch, just save that money and buy a better ticket for when there's a BTS concert that rolls around. Because trust me, whatever money you spend to upgrade your ticket when you go to see a concert, it's better value for you. You'll enjoy it way more than, extra stickers or whatever, or merch, or a DVD or a Blu-ray.
It looks like the next merch box, it's very travel themed. So you get a suitcase and travel pouches and a passport case.
Don't get any of that. Just get a better ticket when you go to see BTS. You'll enjoy that a lot more.
Well, how about this, though? Because we supposedly still have tickets to the show that we bought.
What do you mean supposedly? We have it. They didn't cancel it.
Yeah, but I
legally have this ticket.
I'm saying for you or I, would it be worth it to buy the membership because we still have those tickets?
No.
I mean, we could just buy the membership right before, and it's like, whoa, we're members now. Right before, if they announce some other concert after that.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's worth it if you already have the ticket.
Yeah, it's like we've held on to our tickets, so there's not an immediate need for that benefit of the early ticket sales.
I'll only buy it right before if I need to buy another ticket. And then I guess I'll get this file thing.
That's pretty cool. You could put some magazines in that or some papers. And then they've also come out with the Memories 2020 DVD and the Blu-ray with the DVD costing US $63.17 plus shipping, and the Blu-ray set $88.25 plus shipping. Why do you think the Blu-ray set costs so much more than the regular DVDs? Do you think it's just because it's that much higher quality?
No, I have no idea, honestly. Does anyone even have DVDs still?
I mean, I don't think that many people have DVD players, but they could play that on their computer.
Oh, right, true. No. Production side, to burn a Blu-ray disc only costs like, I don't know, extra $4. So that that's not it. It's just the quality is better. It can be in like 4K.
Yeah, that was my biggest question is why does Blu-ray cost so much more than the DVD? Because you're getting this...
Quality is better.
The
Quality
same...
is better.
They're both...
DVD is not even in HD. Why are we still even doing DVD? This is just an anachronism. Why are they even still like handing out DVDs? I don't understand. You know DVDs can't be in HD, right? And you know that your standard stream on YouTube is in HD, right?
Oh, so when you select
so it's inferior.
Like 1080, that's like Blu-ray, 1080p.
Yeah. So if we go on YouTube and purposely select 480p instead of the standard 720 or 1080 or 4K and look at that quality. That's a DVD.
So DVD is one of those like lower numbers.
I haven't dealt with a DVD since I went to a coworker's house who was like 60 years old and he had DVD players. Okay? That's the last time I saw DVDs. And maybe at my mom's house. So I don't know why people are even still being handed DVDs. Because your streaming is in better quality. Even if the content is somehow, you probably just find an illegal stream of the 4K version, right? Is it the same stuff but just better quality?
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of footage. It says it's 722 minutes of content. So I think that is a lot. That is very generous. And it's composed of Bang Bang Con the live, a lot of Bang Bang Con behind the scenes rehearsal, the making of like all of the videos they made in 2020, and behind the scenes of every time they went on a late night show. And there's just like a lot of video footage that's on the Memories 2020. So it's like 12 hours worth basically. But the difference is the Blu-ray, you basically get that and that's it, and some photo cards. But with the DVD, you get that same 12 hours plus you get multiple photo books and multiple other things. And I just don't understand why. Okay, if you get the DVD, you get all these extra things, but then you get the lower quality video. I feel like that's unfair because it's like if I was gonna buy it, I would want to get the Blu-ray, but then you don't get all these other extras that go with it. So I think
maybe it's just shot in that quality in the first place. I don't know.
I think it's kind of unfair.
I can't imagine they shot it in 480p, but whatever.
So given that, do you think it is worth it if you're a fan of BTS?
No.
Memories 2020?
No. I don't know. I can't speak for what you'd want to do.
Well, there's some people, like, they don't really buy a ton of things, but then...
Are you a super fan who actually watches this stuff? I think most people who think they're going to watch this stuff probably would get it and sit on a shelf. I'll be real with you.
Yeah, I'm sure that does happen.
Yeah, you're going to get it and it'll sit on a shelf. Take that $80 and just buy a better ticket for a concert. That's my recommendation. Get the next level at the concert.
Yeah, and then some people will say, well, they're not performing anywhere near me. You have to go to them. You may have to go...
Take that $88...
to the next state.
And put it towards a plane ticket to where they're playing then.
You got to make it happen.
You'll remember that way more. It will serve you better. Trust me.
Yeah, I will say going to a BTS concert is an experience you can't match with just buying some stuff. Like, you have to go see them in person and hear them sing live. Thank you to our guest, Morgan. You can find BTS Happy Hour on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast platforms. New episodes weekly. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. Follow BTS Happy Hour on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Weverse. You can also go to the website at btshappyhour.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for additional content. Until next time, this has been the BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.